Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a paid request, this time for Ryan. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, commentaries, topics, rankings, randomness, whatever, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. It is about 7:30 in the morning. Sun's about ready to come out. Up early. Figured I'd do this commentary. Eddie wanted to have me do a commentary for Jurassic Park 3. So let's get right into it. Again, if anyone has any requests, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down in the info box. So 3, 2, 1, pressing play. As we have the Universal logo come up. I like this film. Right off the bat, I do like Jurassic Park 3. It's the sequel that gets the most crap. It's a sequel. Well, there's that and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. They're the two that get the most crap. But I'll say this, I like this more than the second film. I like this more than Jurassic World, because Jurassic World just seemed like a lame... It almost sometimes felt like a lame remake of the first Jurassic Park, and then I didn't care about the characters. I thought Chris Pratt was wasted. Yeah, there's a couple silly things in this, but in particular one stupid dream sequence, nightmare sequence that they could have edited out. But at least the excuse it's a nightmare scene. Jurassic World, you have the Beastmaster, Raptor Tamer. You have a fucking dinosaur that goes invisible, but does it whenever the fuck he feels like it. And when he needs to use it, he doesn't use it. Yes, I know, it's based on other animals that do camouflage because DNA was mixed in. But then the dinosaur was so super smart, but then he only uses that whenever the fuck he wants to. He could use it at the end, but he doesn't, even though he wouldn't be dead. But anyway, that's Jurassic World. This one, the thing is, it came out 2001, and you have a sequel that, to be honest, you could say Jurassic Park never needed sequels. I liked the first film. It had a story that ended. Technically, you never needed sequels. But I thought this film, it was fast-paced. It's only, if you take out the end credits, it's only an hour and 24 minutes. That's it. It's only an hour and 24 minutes. And then on top of that, short, to the point, simple story. It's a rescue operation, which I don't mind. Because at least there's an... Usually the goal is survival or something. Like here, I like that... I can't help it. A rescue operation is a goal that in my mind I can see and understand, and I could be a sucker for. I know that doesn't make sense. I don't know how else to explain it. I thought the second film is disappointing because you got Jeff Goldblum coming back, but he doesn't really do anything. I mean, you think about Jeff Goldblum's character is useless. He's very useless in that film. I like Jeff Goldblum as an actor. I like his performance, but he's a useless character. Here, at least Dr. Alan Grant is being useful, and he has a goal. I mean, technically you say the goal, but even then they fail. They still fail, because the dinosaurs still get off the island, and they still capture the T-Rex, and they still wreak havoc. And, you know, the San Diego scene was fun, a T-Rex in the city. Which I can imagine what more they'll do in the new Jurassic World Dominion, whatever it's called. Now, of course, you have this kid they're enjoying their time, that got fucked over, probably from pterodactyls. Granted, at least they weren't on the island, but, you know, they didn't go on the island, they were still off course, but shit out of luck. I believe this is the island from the second film. This is that bit where Sam Neill goes, I've never been to this island. As in, you know, this is the again, the island from the Lost World. And this little kid who plays the son of William H. Macy and Taya Leone, the son, I forget the actor's name, but he was in this film I reviewed a few months ago called Brotherhood, which I thought was a decent flick, decent small little independent film. And he was a kid in Mel Gibson's The Patriot, and he was in a couple other films. But and yeah, Steven Spielberg does not come back. You'd have Joel Johnston, who I believe is the same guy who directed The Rocketeer and Captain America: The First Avenger. I think it's the same guy. There we got Sam Neill, Laura Dern. We see that these two are not together, which is, you know, depressing. He's just, the dinosaur man. Obviously, this is a setup, little exposition for who Laura Dern knows. Thus why at the end you're able to get all those fellas pronto on the island. It was nice to see Sam Neill come back. And again, nice to see Laura Dern again as well. Laura Dern didn't really do a whole lot after the Jurassic Park movies. I mean, she was in movies, but nothing as noteworthy as these films. And yeah, I think from 1993, it had been quite a few years since the first movie when these two got together again in this film. And now apparently these two and Jeff Goldblum will be in Jurassic World Dominion. But it's not like they'll be the stars of the film. It's still will be Chris Pratt and their fellas of movie. It's oh my god, Jeff Goldblum's going to be in the new Jurassic Park. And he had like a cameo at the end. Or was it Fallen Kingdom? I mean, Jurassic Park did not need this many sequels. Even by this one, you could tell I still enjoy the film. Yeah, they're running out of ideas because you have dinosaurs and they hunt people. It's like, okay, what more story is there? In the first movie, you kind of had the big guys. You had the T-Rex. You had the Raptors. Here, you have the Pterodactyls. You have the Indominus Rex. So then when they got to the new ones, we have to make shit up. We have to have DNA and mix DNA together to have the super duper duper dinosaurs. Does it run out of dinosaurs? Although, you know what? Now that I think about it, what would be interesting if you reverse it. So you think the T-Rex and the Raptors are the bad guys, but they're the good guys. And it's the Stegosaurus. And it's those guys that are the bad guys. And the Triceratops. The Triceratops impales people and made those the bad guys. We may eat plants, but we ain't taking shit. Again, it's like, we may eat some plants, but we're going to turn you into a plant. And we're going to eat your ass, shit you out, and then you're going to lay waste to the plants so they can grow so we can eat those plants. So we're still eating you. Again, we may not eat meat, but your ass going to be grass, and you're going to be dead, and then you're going to turn to fertilizer. Or, we don't really like to eat meat, but we'll just do it so we can shit you out and fertilize our plants that we want to eat. You we need to eat. Plants we want to eat. Or vice versa. I don't know. Just why not? I mean, they've done every other fucking film. What, zombie dinosaurs? Is that what I mean? Has there been a zombie dinosaur? Been zombie everything else. Zombies. Zombie animals. Have there been a zombie dinosaur? There probably is. Like Jurassic Undead. The Jurassic Dead or something. Night of the Jurassic Dead. But, I'm telling you, make that thing. Triceratops and the Planters, they're the assholes. They're the villains. And the T-Rex, a boy and his T-Rex. Denver, the Last Dinosaur, is the villain. But see, and then also, Sam Neill's a good actor. I've enjoyed him plenty of other films, In the Mouth of Madness being one of them, Event Horizon, and I thought that he did a good job here. And funny enough, the making of, he does talk about how he feels the movie's a little bit underrated. So he's willing to talk about films, but it seems like he's only willing to talk about Jurassic Park films. Because you never hear him talk about Event Horizon or In the Mouth of Madness or not many other movies. But I like that the character says, no, I'm not going back to the island. I mean, I want to study fossils, and he's more into fossils. That's his bread and butter, but I'm not going back to the island. I'm not stupid. So that's relatable, because it's like, yeah, okay, you have a smart character. And the thing is with The Lost World, I thought The Lost World was kind of boring. This goes by at a fairly quick pace. Like, we already have our inciting incident. We're reintroduced to our characters, Sam Neill, Laura Dern. Sam Neill going to be our main protagonist. We have these characters here. One is Michael Jeter, who I remember he was in The Green Mile. I think he was on the TV show Evening Shade with Burt Reynolds. These are folks going to be hired to try to find William H. Macy's son. I think one of those guys was also, I forget his name. He was on the TV show Miami Vice. He's been a few other stuff. And I forget this guy's name. He's a guy. But I thought he did a good job as well. He was fine. It's kind of weird in a way. This you'd almost be like a precursor to the Chris Pratt's character from Jurassic World. But I think when this came out in 2001, it got a fairly lukewarm reaction. Now, whether it didn't, that's because, well, Steven Spielberg didn't come back. Well, Steven Spielberg made The Lost World, and that wasn't really much to run home about. Oh, that film, when I first saw it as a kid, it's like, yay, dinosaurs. I watch it again. It's like takes forever for it to get going, it seems, and like the thing people remember is the finale and T-Rex in the city, and it just again this they're trying to find something to do with the story, the Velociraptor stuff. But yeah, it does show you there's not much you could do with the story. Like Jurassic World, what was the plot? Okay, have the park open and the dinosaurs go on a rampage, but we can't show too much because we don't have an R rating. And yeah, this dinosaur, he did camouflage so he could be invisible when the fuck he wants, and he's smarter than the average bear and whatever. I think one of the things the couple of things I liked about it, like I said, I like the pacing. I like that it's short, to the point. Sam Neill, I think, is likable. It's nice to see him back as an older Alan Grant that's not as filled with wonder about dinosaurs. Like, he likes his job, but he's seen them up close, so he knows the business. And I like these parents. William H. Macy is a good actor who's in Fargo, among many other movies. Very talented actor, William H. Macy. And Taylor Leone, a lot of people were annoyed by her. They found her irritating. I did, maybe because I liked her as an actress. I know I don't know if she is anymore, but I know she used to be with David Duchovny from the X-Files. And she was on an X-Files episode that David Duchovny directed, where it was people in Hollywood making a movie based on one of their cases. Hollywood AD or something. I forget the name of the episode. But yeah, a lot of people were annoyed by Taylor Leone. But I don't know, I just liked her demeanor. I liked her voice. Never mind Taylor Leone. But again, I'm not deaf to the fact that people, oh, she's annoying. Yeah, I never really found her irritating. I mean, hell, I found the girl in Jurassic World more annoying, trying to run with fucking high heels on or whatever the hell. Trying to get the T-Rex to touch at the end. And pretty much the setup here is that we need to find our kid, but we know they're not going to do that, so we need to lie, cheat, steal. We need to lie about, pretty much lie about it. We just want to view it from the plane, and that's all we want to do. We won't land. We won't be on it. I would say, I mean, this guy mentions a big check, but I'd be like, okay, well, let me see your credentials. Let me see if you're not full of shit or not. But I guess when you get to a point where you're on this little plane and they got this person around, you just assume, well, they must have some kind of money. So I was just listening to the dialogue. He mentions this lucky strap. So you put little kernels in there to let it grow later. Reference that little backpack again. Yeah, this is where you get to the nightmare scene, which didn't need to be there. I mean, you could easily cut it out, and I think they should have in the final cut. That's the guy with the sunglasses. That's the guy who was on the Miami Vice TV show. He's one of the other officers, not the two main, but supporting. And there's one episode, he was like supporting character and he just killed off. Yeah, this whole bit could be easily cut out. It could easily be cut out. And but I'm not going to hate a film for a stupid little 10-second scene. Yeah, it's dumb. You didn't need a nightmare scene. Although I will say it does showcase, which you see more, a nice usage of practical effects. And this was the last Jurassic Park film that utilized a good chunk of practical effects. There's a lot of real stuff being used on the screen. Yes, there's digital work, but you can tell there's a lot of physical stuff. That's another reason why I like this. There's a lot of physical stuff happening. And maybe it's because they said, you know what, we're not going to use every fucking dinosaur out of the book. And I think when people were going to see this, they expected bigger. But in a way, this is smaller. Oh, that's funny, like a string of light. Gosh, I am late. There you go. I'm speaking for God now. My word is the power. But I think when this came out, people expected a bigger movie. They expected more dinosaurs, more carnage, more mayhem, more explosions, more this and that, a bigger movie. And I think maybe because they want to do a sequel, but they thought, well, because Steven Spielberg's not a part of it, because of diminishing returns, maybe this would not make as much money. They knew it made money, but not as much money, because just how it goes. So let's have a finite, simple story, follow some of the basics to it. Okay, so we have this new dinosaur, we have stuff in the water, we have the pterodactyls, the raptors, certain little sections here and there. And also this makes you feel sorry for Sam Neill's character where he's been tricked, he's been fooled, he's been taken for a ride. He did not want to be here. Little hint of desperation. He didn't want to land on this island. He was lied to. He was misled. That's some big ass guns. Give me one of them. And William H. Macy, he's a lot of fun as well. As this guy who is doing the best he can, but is completely out of his element. He does get his time to shine, but yeah, you tell he's just out of his element. Yeah, I mean, get the fuck out of there. So again, like, we're 20 minutes in, and there's like maybe a little over an hour left of the story. We're almost like 20 some minutes in. We're already going to get a big, action sequence set piece with this big ass dinosaur. And a plane crash, and it goes fairly quick since then. And I actually kind of appreciate they went for a smaller. I did most movies they gotta go bigger, bigger. No, let's go backwards a bit. I actually think that was for a better result. So you have a smaller cast. Like pretty much these people, other than the little kid, are the people you see for the rest of the movie. So you have a smaller group of people, you have a smaller cast, you have a smaller group of dinosaurs compared to the second film, because the second film you had all those dinosaurs that got released and the hunters are chasing this dinosaur, that dinosaur, chasing all this stuff to try to get to this here and there. And maybe that kind of helped in some of the effects, but with, okay, if we limit this and this, then we could use this maybe for more practical on-set effects. I guess there's digital, like when that creature came out, that was digital, but then a good chunk of this sequence coming up is going to be practical. Real people in a shell, supposed to look like this plane, rolling back and forth, teeth coming through, trying to eat, and, and when you see the physicality of it, that helps you draw into the film even more. At least it does to me. And of course they're trapped there. In a way, sort of a different take on in the first film when he had to get the little kid and the vehicle was up top. What if you were in the... This is a different, quite a different take on that. And I'm saying, like, Jurassic World, a lot of those scenes just remind me of stuff from the first movie. Like the little kids in that vehicle and the creature crashing down on the roof. Makes you think of when the T-Rex tried to crash through the roof in the first movie with the kids in it. A little bit of Jaws there with Quint. But look at that. That's a real person inside this big-ass creature. That's all done for real, and real people and a real set. And that's a real life practical effect. And you cannot get more real than real. And people make fun of the effects. I don't think the effects are that bad compared to A lot of other stuff. That's real, like, probably model work. There's real people in there. As this thing is pretty much going to go rolling down the river. This is done for real in camera. Like that was Sam Neill in this thing. These people being rolled around, the actors being rolled around. Probably at times stunt people for safety. They're rolling down the river again. They play this game. And they're being crushed more and more. I thought Joe Johnston did a fairly capable job handling this scene, showing up close shots of, the creature going through the piece of the aircraft. Done for real, physical stuff, physically in the same shot as the actors, physically, tearing through the pieces of the aircraft. It makes it so that and then a little bit digital there. But for the most part, practical. Like, that's digital, of course. Which is understandable. It's hard to do that in practical. Very hard. And it's 2001, so I'm not going to be that mad about the effects. But that's the thing with digital. I think digital ages much more quickly than practical effects. I really do. That's one of my issues with too much digital. When you use too much digital, it does age, I think, more poorly and much faster. Like, you have digital effects from 97, 98, 2001 that don't really hold up. But you have practical effects from 1981, 1982, 1983, The Howling, John Carpenter's The Thing. But look at that. That's a practical creature. Practical effect. And you just feel the physicality of it. And then when it goes to CG, you tell there's something off with either the tone, the tint, something about it. And yeah, a lot of people got mad about this because, oh my god, this thing killed a T-Rex. Well, number one, it's not the same T-Rex as the first movie, because it's a different island than the first movie. It's that, it wouldn't be the same T-Rex. It's just another random T-Rex. What, T-Rexes can never die? If that's the case, then they should hate, like, come on now. And that's kind of his point, is that you have to create a bigger threat for this thing. So how do you do that? Holy shit, it killed a T-Rex? Now this thing is even more threatening. Almost ready to knock him the fuck out. I mean, you can't blame Dr. Grant. He got to, and now he's on this fucking island having to run for his life. And they'd be like Michael G. going, listen, I didn't tell you to I did not tell you to kidnap someone. And then even he's like, well, I've never been to this island. So yeah, now we're down to, with the little kid we find later, 6 people. And for me, that works because you're able to move the story faster along. I'm able to get to know a little bit about these parents and what's going on there. I mean, it's nothing deep. I'm not out, but I don't. I'm kind of not asking the movie to stop in exposition for 20 minutes. Michael Jeter, he's a good character actor. This guy is banged up and who's in the back now. Again, probably most famous for the Green Mile. He would pop up. He was in Tango and Cash. He's the one who Kurt Russell's, you got all this shoddy equipment, and just shooting up all the sound equipment with the shotgun. Now here we have two parents that have been divorced, and then pretty much this predicament is going to show them by the end a little bit more love together. I think the actors just did a good job working with the material that you have. It's not going to be again deep. It's still a popcorn entertainment factor, which people scoff at. That's the thing, you talk to people in Hollywood, and they scoff at entertainment popcorn, even though that's where a lot of people enjoy. That shows a disconnect between the people in Hollywood and the people who are regular. Is that, well, if it's not Casablanca or Schindler's List or the new Parasite, Nomadland, Oscar-winning, Oscar caliber, that is nothing. I'm like, no. Most film, yeah, there's a lot of good films of that type. Goodfellas, The Shawshank Redemption, among many others. But there's a lot of fun movies in here that people just want to watch, enjoy, sit back, and be entertained. So pretty much he has like a paint store, KitchenAid. There's no way William H. Macy could afford this, so he must have had like an initial chunk of paint and tile, as it is. Must have had an initial chunk of money, at least to hire these guys, and then again make it appear that we had the money for this. Fine, go ahead and scream. When that trilipitous whatever comes out, don't come and scream to me. See, I thought the banter between the two was natural, but not annoying. I find it irritating, and I thought at times it had a little bit of fun sense of humor to it. And like Alan Grant at least is telling them stop screaming, like stop it. And at least with the parents, you understand because their kid is missing and they're not, experts in this. It's not like fucking Prometheus where they're supposed to be the experts in their field and they're still doing the dumbest of shit. Here you have a mom and a guy who's at a fucking hardware store trying to find their kid. I mean, so it's understandable that they're not the most knowledgeable. At least the movies made that make sense to the viewer. Again, unlike Prometheus and Alien Covenant, that they're supposed to be experts in fucking space travel and piloting, and they still do the dumbest shit. I'm going to take my helmet off, and you might as well just go up and lit the ground and lit that. Here's a little alien, and I'm high as a kite in my spacesuit. Let me look at it. Oh, you're so pretty. Fucking Prometheus, fucking Alien Covenant. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Sorry, it's been a while since probably the last time I saw this is when I reviewed it. I can't remember when I reviewed it. Yes, there are moments here that she's a bit of the screamer, kind of like Willie from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. But I like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom as well. Don't fucking run, bitch. You're running to the middle of the fucking jungle. What are you doing? Trying to think there's a Starbucks here? It's one of those films that, again, really no one remembers and no one spoke highly of. Even to this day, I don't know many people that speak highly of it. But I would say it's the best sequel of the franchise. I do. The first one is the best Jurassic Park film, but I think this is the best sequel. Because, like I said, you didn't really need sequels of Jurassic Park. The story was all told. And to me, with this kind of story, if you want to tell it fully, if you want to tell it with full potential, you can't be hindered by the rating. And no matter what, this is going to be PG-13 because the budget involved. But you have dinosaurs eating people, ripping people apart. Yes, you can tell it PG-13. They did as much as they could in the first film. I mean, you had Laura Dern come out and the fucking arm is on her. Like an arm with no body. You had the lawyer getting eaten up. That's as far as you can go when in terms of rating, that film did it. So people are expecting more, you're not going to get it. And sadly, movies that are going to try, then just they're not going to have the budget for the effects. So you have like the Carnosaur films, which was very low budget Roger Corman productions, which I hated the first Carnosaur. Carnosaur 2 and 3 were fun. They were fun for what they needed to be. If Carnosaur 2 or 3, especially 3 was on Blu-ray, I would pick it up. Yes, they're very cheap on the effects, but they use practical puppetry. Yeah, again, it's direct-to-video cheap, but it's the cheap that's charming and fun. And again, I prefer that over the Sharktopus, Raptopus, whatever the fuck Sci-Fi Channel movies come out. If it's going to be cheap, then give me the cheap practical, not the cheap CGI. But the Carnosaur 2 and 3 are R-rated, and they're fun. The first Carnosaur could have been fun, but the ending, like, this is such a silly idea, and you make it such a fucking dark, depressing, nihilistic ending. And then the lead guy, I'm like, well, I don't know, the sheriff guy, I kind of wish he was the lead. I have a lot of issues with the first Carnosaur. No, and of course, obviously, it's not going to work. Oh, it's a nice little thing. I don't know if I noticed that before. When Tay Leone was walking off, in the distance, in the back, you saw something go. I don't know if I ever noticed that before. I think I was too busy, like, looking at Tay Leone or looking down. Fuck money. You don't need to pay money. See, that's humor that works because it's not over the top. You know, it's part of the situation, it's part of the character, It shows that, he's not... He's just a normal guy from a hardware store. He can't get the damn machine open. He wants to think he's, the tough guy, but he's not. But he's not doing it in an aggravating way either. But then he gets his moment to shine at the end to show a bit of courage. There's a little bit of the lab. They're cloning. This is how you play God. And I think in the trailer, Samuel says a line, which of course, I mean, with a lot of scenes, especially if you have a bit more money, they do scenes more again and again. Okay, take 2, take 3, take 4. And sometimes they'll use an alternate take for like marketing. So if you watch that scene where he says, this is where you play God. That line reading is different in the trailer compared to this. I will say this raptor's a good mime. He's acting like the man can still. Peekaboo, I see you. He's a good actor, this fucking raptor. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. And like I said, when this movie gets going, it doesn't really stop. Like, yeah, the Adamus Rex, you have this, chasing with the raptor. And it's, a little bit of adventure survival story. And yeah, there's CG, but at least there's some nice usage of practical effects too. And that's an interesting bit. Like, okay. This idea of, okay, there's an opening there. Let's see what I can do there. And this idea of it calling for help. Which they do say that the raptors are a bit more like birds. I guess technically dinosaurs, if you're supposed to be more accurate, they should have feathers, from what I understand. Of course, there's also people that say dinosaurs don't exist. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for those who want to say, well, dinosaurs don't exist, and I got the evidence. I'm sorry, I'm not listening to a couple fucking random people on YouTube because they read one or two articles and said, oh, I'm an expert now. It's like people who say, I know all about this comic book character, and they read like 2 issues from 2 years ago. And then all of a sudden, I'm an expert on this I know everything about this character. I might, if you say so. But hey, if you are into that, teach their own, man. I don't subscribe to that. If you want to believe dinosaurs didn't exist, I'm not going to agree, sorry. You're not going to make a believe, It's a bit, what? Yeah, there are people who believe dinosaurs never existed. I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, they just found all these bones just for shits and giggles or something. Maybe they're aliens, that's what they're aliens. Wonder if that's been something like, these dinosaurs, they were aliens from back in the day. That's a good effect. I like the way the raptors look in this. I mean, the digital, like I said, the digital is there. But the practical, I really like the practical effects. I like the color tone of the raptors. It seemed like in the previous ones, a little bit more brown. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they weren't. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But this one seemed like just a little bit more of a green tone to it. But yeah, you need to get someone that would go more and more into trouble. By this point, they've split up, and this is where Sam Neill will find the kid, and boom, boom, boom. Oh, I like the way the raptors look in this, the practical effects. And yeah, okay, fine, you don't do CG, I can get it, but use a mixture of both at least. Granted, even if a film does, it doesn't automatically save the movie, but it's a step in the right direction. Chris, yeah, I'm always in the type of, I would love to see a full-blown R-rated type of this venture. Which the first Jurassic Park was originally going to be James Cameron's film. For I understand, James Cameron was going to do Jurassic Park, and then it got to the Steven Spielberg's hands, and his tone of it was he wanted to make it like Aliens. So I mean, because he did, an R-rated, dinosaur film. I mean, when you say you don't make it like Aliens, well, Jim, we can't. I mean, and that would have been the time to do it because R-rated films would make a lot of money at the box office. Nowadays, who knows? Who knows? I don't know, just the way movies are, just don't even get me started on that. So we're reintroduced to this kid. And this kid, I mean, he did a good job as well. He's not annoying, he's not irritating. He's capable of surviving. Oh, there's no way he'd survive? That's like, Newton aliens. Just sometimes you get survival instinct. Maybe a little bit of common sense, a little bit of luck. It looks like dog food from that can. I was just laughing because the kid's like, I like your first book better. That's when you like dinosaurs. It's like, well, because by that, dinosaurs had not tried to eat me then. But you also gotta think, yeah, I mean, the first two films have existed. This is a world where a fucking T-Rex went around a city. So people would know about dinosaurs, and they probably would have kids like this that would look into dinosaur lore, dinosaur backstories, information, all that jazz. Does that was a nod to the Malcolm. I don't know. His book was kind of preachy. Too much chaos. I mean, there's a part of me that wishes that Jeff Goldblum was in this film. I mean, maybe like Jeff Goldblum. I don't know how you would fit him in though. But again, it's just like the second film, like there's Jeff Goldblum, he's a talented guy, just really given nothing to do in that second movie. Here, it does seem like there's moments of him to do stuff. And like, we're 50 minutes in. We're 50 minutes in. We only have about a half an hour left of this film. I was assuming this movie goes by pretty quick, but I think, again, people, when they saw this, they just felt, well, they just seemed like a inconsequential entry into the franchise. And I guess in a way they got a point. I mean, other than money, there's really no big reason to do the film. Like I said, the three new things is the bigger, longer mouth-shaped Rex, showing a bit more pterodactyl stuff, and trying to make the raptors a little bit smarter. Which goes back to what I've repeated before. Like, you really didn't need sequels of Jurassic Park. And that's, I like this film, but I've said before, not every fucking movie that's a huge hit needs a franchise. And so many times in this day and age, people, and they have every right to do it, but it's just, they're crying out for a new movie, a new movie, a new movie. I want another. I'm like, the law of diminishing returns comes sooner or later, man. And you'll look back, you go, that money could be used into something even more unique, or more interesting, or more original, or more crazy, or more energetic, or more exciting. There's a lot of franchises that could have stopped. Like, you don't need a new Indiana Jones film, which they're doing. It might involve time travel. It might involve someone else becoming Indiana Jones by the end. It might involve the introduction of a female Indiana Jones, because Harrison Ford will retire or die, or whatever the fuck the character, I should say, the character. Which I'm like, Indiana Jones 4, he was already pushing his age. And I enjoy that film. It's done. That was 2008. Just let it go. But hey, I mean, no, they never let anything go. So what, we get a new Candyman remake, we get a new Chucky TV show, we get a new Halloween film, and then another one coming next year. We have a new Matrix film, we have a new Scream film, we have another Jurassic Park film, Jurassic World Dominion. There's going to be more Star Wars stuff, there's going to be, Star Trek stuff on the Paramount Network. Almost any franchise you look at, Stallone, let's do more Rockies, let's do more Rambos, we're going to do Expendables 4. Nothing ever fucking ends. It's just a glut of stuff, and 8 times out of 10, it sucks. Like, come on now. When is enough enough? But hey, what do I know? It's funny, I looked at the films I enjoyed this year. It's Willy's Wonderland, and Malignant, and Nobody. And are they 100% original? No. But they're attempting going to do something a little bit different than just banking on a nostalgia fest or a franchise. Sequels, prequels, remakes, reboots, blah, 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 blah. I like the Suicide Squad. And essentially, you make a film, okay, you'll make a part 2. Like, that's a newer one. And a sequel that's better than the first one. Much better than the first one. So that's, that's a little bit different. But yeah, with this film, I'm sure people wanted a bigger, grander story, or crazier action scenes, and then again they kind of went much simpler route. I think they, understandably so, There's a lot of people that watch it go, that's it? That's it? In fact, I guarantee you there are some, not all, some people that watch this and go, that's it? Really? They made a new film and it's already over? Like, it's only an hour and 20-some minutes. You know, is that 2 hours? Wait, we're already done? Really? That's all that happened? Just a couple scenes. Why did we even make this film? And the second film was, what, 97? Trying to think. The first one was 93. I think it was 97. The second one came out. This was 2001. And the reveal. I also don't mind the way the film looks, like the cinematography, the color. Don't stop, keep going. What are we stopping for? Well, to rest. Nope. No time for rest, Dr. Jones. Get the fuck out of Dodge. I don't think that's going to do it. Or maybe it will. But yeah, I mean, we don't have much left of this film. We have about 20-some minutes left. And maybe 25 minutes left. And we still have like the pterodactyl stuff. We have the stuff on the water. Now see, this guy should have been much more... that's why. It's not because he wants to be secretive. It's because he doesn't want Sam Neill to get hurt. Because you guys not going to get money from it, so we need money for this. To fund the dig site another 10 more years. I mean, it's understandable. It's understandable why he took them. He didn't want to hurt anybody. It's like, we're not going to get any money from this. We're not going to get any money from this job. Our actual jobs are going to be done. And the raptors are now hunting us. And now he's like, well, wait a minute, if I get rid of these, they're going to be even more pissed, wondering, wait a minute. They're going to be even more pissed if they think we have them, but we don't. Whether they catch us without them. But also, you know, it gives a reason as to why these raptors are... And sorry for the background noise. My neighbor's roosters never shut up. Never shut up, so there you go. Maybe they want the raptor eggs. That's what they're crying about. They want these raptor eggs. They think it's their eggs. So take my fucking eggs. I'm like, well, you know what? I like scrambled eggs. I'm looking for some cheese, some bacon, some pancakes. Actually, you know what? Some French toast and some sausage. I'm going to eat it like a motherfucker. I'm going to have a breakfast sandwich, and I'm going to love it, every minute of it. Tough titty, tough shit. Eat it. Ha 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 ha. See, now they're pissed. Now there's more than one rooster. I'm like, tough shit. I'm going to eat a breakfast sandwich with your eggs after I get these eggs, I'm gonna eat your eggs, and I'm gonna love it. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. How about that? I'll do it tenfold. I have an scrambled egg jamboree with cheese in it. You take scrambled egg, you put cheese in it. Okay, you get some fucking bread. You make toast out of it. You put some butter. You get some bacon or sausage. You have your own breakfast sandwich. And yeah, they're getting more and more pissed. Them explain that because they don't like it, but they don't have to like it because I'm gonna steal the shit. I'm gonna be the fucking weasel. I'm gonna go in their pen. I'm gonna steal the shit and I'm gonna eat it on camera. And I'm gonna film it to them, and they're gonna be pissed, and they don't have to watch it. It's a tough DT. Sorry. But I actually like the way this is filmed. The fog gives a bit of atmosphere. And it gives a nice reveal to the pterodactyl. So again, this big catwalk, which kind of like a bird cage type of thing. The fog makes it so that it's understandable, first off, because if they're pterodactyls, they would be flying around, you would notice them. Well, wait a minute, they would notice something in the distance. We have to hide it, have this fog-like atmosphere. Plus then it creates a nice reveal when the pterodactyl comes into view. And yes, I'm drinking a little bit of 7-Up. Ease up on the caffeine a little bit. Plus I like 7-Up. I don't know why, like, when I was a kid, 7-Up, and whenever I had, like, a stomach ache, I would always drink 7-Up. And, or my mom would get me 7-Up to help with my stomach ache, and always, it did help. I don't know, something about it, maybe just the taste, or something about it just settled my stomach. Fuck did he sniff? I forget what he sniffed. Fucking bread or something? Was it bird shit? Don't stop, man. Keep going. A little bit more of that reveal. There you go. What do you think for what? For a giant bird is a giant parrot. Yeah, that's a cool reveal from the smoke, from the fog. Sorry for that weird noise, was clearing my throat a bit. Again, it's kind of like this had a budget, but they're trying to utilize it. Maybe not a smaller capacity, but just, yeah, maybe trying to pick and choose where to use it. Then we have this guy who pretty much wants to have his redemption moment. Which he wasn't that bad. I mean, there's not much to the character, but the actor did fine. The actor wasn't bad or anything. There's a little bit of an arc, a little bit to his story. He wanted to do the right thing. He inadvertently led things a bit astray, but he had good intentions. And he did have good intentions, sincere intentions, and I was going to do the right thing here. A little bit of this parachuting. Now they did mention before, when they found the crash site, about this whole parachute thing. So at least they did reference it before, dialogue-wise, so this doesn't come so out of the blue. I mean, also that's another issue with Jurassic Park films, where you do them for so long. What can you do to a dinosaur? Again, because of the rating, PG-13, you can't, shoot them too much, blow them up too much, because then it's too gory, it's too bloody, it's too da-da-da. For I know, you're canceled. You could be canceled for, you're killing too many dinosaurs, you're canceled. Who the fuck knows with this day and age? But you can't do as much. Like, obviously, you want to fight the dinosaurs, but how much can you do that when... you can't, how much blood can you show? How much wounds? Wounding a dinosaur, how much can you show of that? I'm sure there's limits to that based on the rating. So... And also because then it invites kids. Like, this is a PG-13 film, but they know that kids are going to see it and enjoy it. Not because it's a kids film, but because, hey, we're PG-13, we take the kids in. So again, you have to be limited to what you can and can't do to these, dinosaurs. The worst you do is like when the Dinosaurus broke the T-Rex's neck or something of that nature. I think that's why his lucky pack. He definitely was like being fucking body slammed, demolished there. Again, that's a cool look. The turnaround stare. They kind of did that for the raptor, now they did it for the pterodactyl. But, I mean, Billy, like, he does, if you haven't seen the film, spoiler alert, he's not dead. He comes out later. I mean, I wouldn't be mad they killed off Billy, but at the same time, I'm fine that he lives, because he's not a, he's a decent person. I'm okay with decent person you live in. But yeah, pretty much we won't see him for till the end of the movie. And then we're pretty much into the last section of the film, this whole river deal. It's a better Jungle Cruise. And when I say, Dr. Alan Grant does more compared to Malcolm, I don't know, just... Obviously for most of this, like most of these films, it's pretty much just running, escaping, and trying to survive. That's pretty much each of these movies. We gotta run, we gotta escape, we gotta survive. But at least, here Alan, tries to burn it up, shoots the flare gun, at least something proactive on that nature. And to be fair, Jeff Goldblum is helping get the baby T-Rex and lure the monster out of the island. What the island? What the fuck am I talking about? Lure the T-Rex out of the city. So again, so that's unfair to say about the second film. That's unfair to say. I don't know, just the Lost World, just again, it just... I don't know, for some reason, it just feels like Sam Neill's used better here than Jeff Goldblum was used in the second film. I don't know how else to explain it. And decent little bit character moment here that he feels bad. He feels he was too harsh on that guy. And these are moments they do, well, number one, to try to get the nicer side of the dinosaurs. You know, in this case, you have the plant eaters, the herbivores, but they also do this for a trailer shot. Is that we gotta have something, so when we set up the trailer, we just show this moment here. And, I'm telling you, you do a movie where these guys are the bad guys. These guys, the Triceratops, they're the bad guys. And the T-Rex are the good guys. But the thing is, with these herbivores, they have numbers on their side. And they're, you know, fucking sneaky ass, using their long necks to wrap and suffocate T-Rexes and break their necks and or hold them there so Triceratops stabs them in the ass, stitch their, you know, stitch up their ass or something. Yeah, I mean, definitely a gross moment. But I mean, it is to get the phone, so there's part of a story that if it's eaten, it's gotta come out somewhere. I forget what kind of dinosaur that is. Like, what kind of... I mean, it's like a T-Rex, but not really, because it has this, like, red coloring to it. There's, like, a little horn on top. I don't know what kind of dinosaur that is. I don't know the technical name for it. I think that's the only scene he has in, like, the entire franchise. I don't think we ever see that dinosaur before or since. It's kind of like the dinosaurs I know is made up, but in the first film that spit the, like, the tar. I always thought those looked cool, and the fact those never came back, I always thought was kind of strange. You know, then they spit this tar thing. You know, spitters. I don't know why they never came back. I don't know why. See, this is why, you know, little kids, man. It's the little baby kids you gotta worry about. They're the bastards. The little kid won't take his sweet ass time. See, again, you get a couple of these little set pieces, and they're decently done. Like here, having take place in the rain. Then they have this nice practical effect uh, driven stuff. Of course, it's Barney's fault. Barney being the fucking devil. Fucking Barney, a piece of shit. And yeah, I get what the director was doing. You have the cute cuddly Barney, and then in comparison to this much more violent, nastier thing. But again, there's a lot of practical effects being used in the scene, which is fairly interesting. I say interesting because it's surprising, because this would a lot of this would just be CG, or they do practical, then they put CG over it for some reason. This is sort of the ticking clock, the trying to get the phone in time. And of course, we've established earlier in the film that her husband is a bit of an important dude, has a few connections, or explain what comes up at the very end. But again, is the director utilizing, okay, this is what I have for practical effect. You have all the rain, all the water, all the problems that are happening with that combination. Your actors, making sure that your actors are they're safe and not hurt or killed. And again, like you have this practical creature, like practical effect, digging through this cave, going in and out of the water, all the rain around it. Makes for exciting scene, at least to me. It's like all these little elements combined. It may not be done big, but it's done, I think, fairly well. So I get more out of this scene than whatever the fuck was in Jurassic World. We have the super duper one who could go invisible, but he doesn't this time. Then we have the T-Rex and we have the Raptor and we have the... Say William H. Macy's moment to shine, using courage to become a distraction. Then we give Alan Grant a moment. Simple but very crucial moment. Say, motherfucker. Different movie. Different movie. You watch it again, it's surprising just how much practical effects is used in this sequence. There's a little bit of digital in these wider shots, but a lot of it's done practically. And, again, it's fair. I mean, that scene there, that's understandable. But the dinosaur doesn't die. Although, think about it, a lot of the dinosaurs don't die. And in the first movie, the T-Rex doesn't die. Maybe the raptors do. I guess the T-Rex kills them, but the T-Rex doesn't die. Second film is not about killing the T-Rex. It's about getting them off the island. Here, again, it's scaring it off. Jurassic World, it's them getting together to kill the one asshole. But, yeah, I think this film, when it came out, people thought, what, that's it? They probably looked at their watch like, wait a minute, is this the end? In other films, this would probably be the beginning of the third act. It would. It'd be the beginning of the third act, because it'd be like an hour and 50 or 2 hours long. Okay, we'd have 30 minutes left. And it'd be this, big, grandiose scene, maybe filled with tons of CG explosions. The island would fucking explode, or lava would explode everywhere. No, much more simple, and people were disappointed. People wanted a bigger movie, and maybe at the time it's understandable. In retrospect, again, that makes it a bit more interesting. Yeah, there's one bit here with the raptor. Finish up that storyline. Them the age back. I remember some critiques going, oh my god, this is so unrealistic. And I'm like, the film people were praising with Jurassic World had Chris Pratt on a motorcycle riding around the jungle with 3 or 4 raptors near him as if he's the fucking Beastmaster or it's fucking Dino Riders. Chris Pratt on a motorcycle and like 3 or 4 raptors, and the critics loved that and ate it up. But this is unrealistic. Crazy to say it's all unrealistic. Dinosaurs. Some would say that too, but Fucking. And yeah, another thing that was referenced earlier that comes back into play. Even then, I almost forgot about that, but see, that's another thing reference coming back into play. I like the effects on these. They look really good. I mean, the digital is there, but like these practical ones, they look so. And that makes it crazy that the newer ones don't utilize this much. Like, yeah, that's digital and that's understandable, but there's a lot. Again, Joe Johnston used a lot of practical effects in this. I commend him for that. And it's that boring. I mean, we're hour and 21 minutes. We're pretty much at the end now. There's Laura Dern's butt boy. What is it, G.I. Joe now? Overkill. But I mean, if you don't do it, might as well do it not half-assed. Okay, now you're all arrested. You should not be here in the first place. You're all going to jail. And you also owe the government a shitload of money because we had to spend all this money to get these folks here. So yeah, you owe us a shitload of money, so now you're going to go bankrupt. You're in debt. And you owe the government $18 million. There's a Billy. And you're gonna be owing a shitload of money to the government. Literally, we got helicopters, we got all this shit here. Who financed this shit? Okay, shoot them down. Shoot these pterodactyls down. Shoot them with the sniper. They're going to hell because they don't get shot down because they don't want them on the mainland. Which, I mean, you think about it, it does make sense. Like, in even newer films, why didn't the pterodactyls go and set up colonies since they can fly there? Yeah, they probably got shot down. They're dead as fuck. I think even when I first saw this, I went, wait, it's over now? Wow, the movie's over already? Wow, that was short. I first saw this on DVD. It wasn't on VHS, which there is a VHS of this. I remember seeing it on the shelves. And I didn't see this in the theater. I saw this on DVD. And I think, again, even when I first saw it, I went, wow, it's over already? I guess it is. Shit. Pierre Buckman, Alexander Payne. And I know this is one that's not based on a Michael novel. It's an original story. Steven Spielberg is actually produced it. I think the same year he released AI, that film. And Spielberg doesn't direct a lot of sequels. I was surprised he directed Lost World, Jurassic Park 2. Well, the Indiana Jones films, there's those. Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, Kingdom of Crystal Skull. Sam Neill did a great job, as did William H. Macy. Likable characters. Téa Leoni, I didn't find her as annoying as other people did. Alessandro Nivola. Trevor Morgan. I think Trevor Morgan's the name of the kid. Michael Jeter. John Dale, that's the guy who was in Miami Vice TV show. He was the guy with the sunglasses I mentioned much earlier. And got killed. He was the first to die from the Indominus. Well, I forget the name of this dinosaur. Stan Winston. Rest in peace, Stan Winston, man. Did great work. Did wonderful work on this. Good job. Rest in peace, Stan Winston. And yeah, it's a small cast when you look at it. Like, I mean, yeah, Alessandro Nivola, he was Billy. Trevor Morgan was the kid. Michael Jeter, John Deal, Bruce A. Young, they were part of the rescue team. They're part of the team that got killed. Laura Dern. Yeah, you don't have a lot of people. Smaller cast compared to at least the second one. And that's pretty much it. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.